Good afternoon, students. Today we are going to study the radius of gyration from rotational motion. So see what is mean by radius of gyration. So radius of gyration is nothing but the distance of the point mass from axis of rotation. So what is mean by point mass? So it is the mass of the whole body which is concentrated on the particular point inside the body or outside the body. So see what is mean by radius of gyration. Suppose a body of mass m has moment of inertia I about an axis. The radius of gyration k of the body about the axis is defined as I is equal to mk square. So see, that is k is the distance of a point mass m from the axis of rotation such that this point mass has the same moment of inertia about the axis of rotation. See again in deeply, if we want to know what is mean by radius of gyration, then we can say that if we are interested in knowing only the mass distribution around the axis of rotation, we can express moment of inertia of any object as I is equal to mk square, where m is mass of that object. It means that the mass of that object is effectively at a distance k from given axis of rotation. In this case, k is defined as the radius of gyration of the object about the given axis of rotation. In other words, if k is the radius of gyration of an object, I is equal to mk square. So previously we have seen that if the moment of inertia is mk square, radius of gyration is k. And now in other words we are seeing if the radius of gyration is k, then moment of inertia I is equal to mk square. Is the moment of inertia of that object larger the value of k, farther is the mass of the axis. Obviously larger if the value of k, then farther will be the mass of the axis, that is the radius of gyration will be larger. Okay, now we are going to see some expression of moment of inertia. So in first column there are objects, second column axis of rotation, third column expression of moment of inertia, that are formulas, and in last column there are figures. So see, first object is thin cylinder, thin ring or hollow cylinder. Both are having same moment of inertia. So see, they are rotating along the axis passing through the center, and their expression is I is equal to mr square. Figure is there. Then second object is thin ring. It is again thin ring, but it is rotating along the axis passing through the diameter. So their expression is I is equal to 1/2 mr square. Figure is there. So along the diameter that ring is rotating. Now third object is annular ring or the thick walled hollow cylinder. Now here in first object and in third object the difference is there, that is the third object is having the thickness. It is having two radii of inner circle and outer circle. This annular ring or thick walled hollow cylinder is moving or rotating along the axis which is passing through center, and the expression is I is equal to 1/2 m in bracket r2 square plus r1 square. So in figure shows that r1 is the radius of inner circle, whereas r2 is the radius of outer circle. Expressions for moment of inertia. See, uniform disc or solid cylinder which is rotating along the center and its expression I is equal to 1/2 mr square. Then after uniform disk which is rotating along the diameter, and its expression is I is equal to 1 divided by 4 mr square. So see here, both are disk only, but firstly disk is rotating along the center, whereas secondly that disk is rotating along the diameter. After that, thin walled hollow sphere is there. It is rotating along the center. Its expression is I is equal to 2 by 3 mr square. Then after, solid sphere is there. It is also rotating along the center, and moment of inertia I is equal to 2 by 5 mr square. Then after, uniform symmetric spherical shell is there. It is nothing but sphere only, but inside little bit it is hollow. It is having some thickness also. So the expression is different. So it is moving along the center only. Axis of rotation is passing through center only. So the expression is I is equal to 2 by 5 m r2 raised to 5 minus r1 raised to 5. See here, r1 is subtracted from r2, and in denominator r2 raised to 3 minus r1 raised to 3, r2 cube minus r1 cube. So see in the figure, inside the radius is r1 and outside the radius is r2. So we have subtracted the smaller radius from bigger radius in expression. Next expression is for thin uniform rod or rectangular plate. The axis of rotation is passing through the center only of that plate or that rod, and it is perpendicular to the length of that rod. Expression is I is equal to 1 divided by 12 ml square. Figure shows that the axis of rotation is passing through the center and it is perpendicular to that rod. Half of the rod, that is half of the length L by 2, is on the one side of the axis, whereas half the length is another side of the axis. Next expression is for thin uniform rod or rectangular plate, but axis of rotation is perpendicular to the length and about one end. Here axis of rotation is about one end. So expression is I is equal to 1 by 3 mr square. See here in figure, hold the length of the rod is on the one side of the axis of rotation. Next is uniform plate or rectangular parallelepiped. It is moving along the center. It is rotating along the center. An expression is I is equal to 1 by 12 m in bracket L square plus B square. So see, it is similar to the rod. Upside, last but third, there is a expression I is equal to 1 by 12 ml square. Likewise only here I is equal to 1 by 12 ml square plus B square. Here rod is having only length, so L square is there, and here plate is having length and breadth, so that expression is having L also and B also. Next to this, we are going to see the analogous quantities between translational motion and rotational motion and relationship between them. See, some expressions are there, some quantities are there which are interrelated from translational motion to the rotational motion. See, first quantity from translational motion is linear displacement S bar. it is analogous to angular displacement theta bar, and their interrelation is s bar is equal to theta bar into r bar. Then second is linear velocity v bar, which is rate of change of linear displacement ds bar upon dt. It is analogous to angular velocity omega bar, which is rate of change of angular displacement d theta bar upon dt. So see, linear velocity v bar is equal to angular velocity omega bar cross r bar. V bar is equal to omega cross r bar. Then third quantity is linear acceleration a bar, which is rate of change of velocity dv bar upon dt. It is analogous to angular acceleration alpha bar, is rate of change of angular velocity d omega bar upon dt. Their interrelation is alpha bar is equal to a bar cross r bar. Then after we are having the quantity inertia or moment of inertia in translational motion, that is mass m. In rotational motion, it is analogous to rotational inertia or moment of inertia I. So interrelation between inertia or mass and moment of inertia is I is equal to integration of r square dm, and that is equal to summation of mi ri square. Both we have seen. The next quantity is linear momentum p bar is equal to mv bar. Angular momentum likewise L bar is equal to I omega bar. In place of m, I will come. In place of p, omega will come. Interrelation between L bar and p bar is, that is linear momentum and angular momentum, is L bar is equal to r bar cross p bar. So upside see, r bar is afterwards. See, s bar is equal to theta bar cross r bar, hai na? And here r bar is taken previously. So we have to remember that where r bar is coming afterwards and where it is coming previously, because associative law is not obeyed in cross multiplication. Here cross multiplication is there, vector cross multiplication is there. So associative law or shuffling is not allowed. Next is force. F bar is equal to dp bar upon dt, that is rate of change of momentum. Likewise torque, which is analogous to force, is tau bar is equal to rate of change of angular momentum with respect to time, or only rate of change of angular momentum dl bar upon dt. So interrelation between angular and linear quantity torque and force is L bar is equal to r bar cross p bar. Here also r is coming previously. Then after work is there, W is equal to F bar dot S bar. Here dot multiplication is there. Vector dot multiplication is there within F bar and S bar vectors. Work is coming. See, work is the scalar quantity. Although F and S both are vectors, the dot product is coming the scalar quantity W. Likewise in angular or rotational motion also work is tau bar dot theta bar, and it is scalar quantity. Then after power, which is again a scalar quantity, P is equal to rate of change of work, dW upon dt. Here W is capital C for work, and omega, that is small w. P is equal to dW upon dt, rate of change of work. So F bar dot V bar will come. And similarly, power in rotational motion, P is also equal to dW upon dt, rate of change of work. So this is all